the record button. So let me jump into the PowerPoint deck and get us started today, which means that I'll lose track of the participants in the chat because I won't be able to see them anymore. But please get into the chat. Tell us who you are, where you're from. And you're going to have several spots along the way today where I'm going to say, hey, get in the chat. Give us your name, give us your email, and give us some feedback, give us some ideas through each of the segments. And I'm going to take those because we have your email, but it gets masked when we download it. So if you put your email in the chat, then I definitely have your emails. And I will spin our swag wheel after the session and we'll award some swag for those of you who participated in the chat and gave us feedback, ideas along the way. So make sure that you open the chat, pop who you are in there, and please respond when we get to those points in the presentation where I ask for your feedback. So welcome. This is the University Teaching and Learning User Group. This is our third meeting, so we're just getting started down this tug road. And I don't know if all the tugs are doing it, but I'm still putting the forward-looking statement out there to remind you, yes, I am wearing a Tableau shirt, but I don't work for Tableau. I don't know the long-term odds of what's going to happen with Tableau, with Salesforce. So please don't base any future decision making on anything you hear in our meeting when it comes to investing in software or whatnot. But I will tell you, our whole point is to encourage faculty and students to use Tableau because all of us have had a lot of success and have really enjoyed our time working with Tableau. One of the first things you can pop into that chat is we've been trying out this Friday noon time slot, and it seems like it's not that good for a lot of people. So if it's not good for you, but you're here, go ahead and in the chat, pop another time where it might be better for you. If we move this tug to a different time slot, where might that time slot be? And we'll consider moving it to a better time slot. But I think a lot of our members, being faculty and students at universities, have such crazy schedules. I think most of our members of the tug just watch the recordings anyway. So it doesn't matter when we set them, they're just going to watch the recording, which is fine. But we do appreciate those of you who are here live with us, especially our presenters today. But we appreciate you in the audience who are attending the tug today, and we really hope that you will put some comments into the chat, give us some feedback, give us some ideas, and I will spin the swag wheel this afternoon, and we'll see about getting some swag out to our attendees who come and are with us live during the session. So here's our agenda. I want to remind everybody of what the tug is, what our mission is, what we're trying to do, who our leadership is, like I do at every meeting, but each meeting it'll get shorter and shorter as everybody starts to realize who we are and what we're doing. Every meeting we like to open up Tableau and get some tips. We've slotted some time at the end for my co-lead of the tug, Professor Dennis, our new Tableau visionary, to show us some things in Tableau if we have time. But if we run out of time, we'll save that for next time. We're going to get to share a resource every time that faculty and students could go to help you build your skills, help you have ideas of what to do in the classroom. And today we've got Alan Hillery coming to talk about the Dubois Challenge, which is awesome. I've been doing it for 4 straight years now, enjoying it every year. Student testimonial. I'm going to have one of my students here at Louisiana Tech do a testimonial because we want to make sure we always hear from a student every time. Our professor for the day. Anybody can be a professor. You can come and teach at any of our universities, and we're happy to have you. And so we like to bring somebody who is not a professor by day in to be a professor for the day. And I do that in my classroom. Contact me. Happy to have you come in. But we've got Eric here to talk about the Back to Viz basics and the student guide and those kind of tips and things that Eric leads out there. And Eric is also another Tableau visionary. So we are loaded with experts today. And that's our basic agenda. We are missing Leanne today. Leanne is taking a group of students over to Singapore. Oh, poor Leanne's got to take one for the team there. Taking some students over to a foreign trip. I think in their spring break, which is one of the nice perks that faculty get every once in a while. So Leanne is off there. We've got, as I mentioned, Dennis is here. Dennis, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. My name is Dennis Cal. I am one of the co-leads for this group. I am a associate professor at the Carleton University, which is based in Ottawa, Ontario. I teach in the social work program there. So a non-data analytics program. And so the challenge for me is often trying to integrate data visualization analytics into an already packed course that's focused on broader social work content. So that's kind of been my challenge, but happy to see everybody, and I look forward to kind of meeting everybody at some point.
All right, thanks, Dennis. I can't remember if I did say Leanne is at Utah State in Utah. Teaches in the College of Business, and she's active with her students. Last time we had one of her students here, one of my students today, but we're always interested if a student wants to present and talk about their experience in it. Send us a note. We're happy to include you. Again, my name is Dr. Kevin Leeller. I'm a professor of analytics and cybersecurity at Louisiana Tech University down here in Ruston, Louisiana. Been teaching with Tableau for about 12 years now, at least, and teaching analytics to all majors in the College of Business. So I get all different majors. So today we're going to hear from one of my supply chain management students, and happy to get this tug going and get this intersection of students and faculty and professors for the day, people from industry that would love to teach our students. And just love to network and bring people together. You'll also notice that we could have a fourth tug leader, and we don't have one yet. So we're always thinking in our third meeting here, we need to fill that fourth slot. We need to find somebody to help back us up and keep the tug running, and that could be you. We'd also like to get an advisory board going. So if anybody would like to be on our advisory board, Alan, Eric, if anybody would like to be on our advisory board, if you have some recommendations, some ideas, let us know. We'd love to form an advisory board to help give us ideas and keep the tug going. So again, I'm going to keep doing this. Audience participation in the chat. Give us your name, give us your email, give us a suggested leader, an advisor, something you'd like to see us do in the future. Again, our mission statement is we want to provide a space to university faculty, staff, students to network and discuss teaching and learning with Tableau. We want to share tips and resources and examples, and we want to get faculty, students, staff, and professors for the day, get them all together, get them all interacting. Networking is really important for us. And so we're trying to do that. So as I said, every meeting we want to have some Tableau tips. And anybody is welcome to do those. So far, it's just been the tug leaders doing them, but we'd love to get someone else slotted in here at a future meeting to open up Tableau and show us some of their favorite tricks and tips. Because I tell you, I've been using Tableau for 12 years, and every time somebody does Tableau tips, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. How long has Tableau done this? I had no idea. You're always learning, and it's the best way to learn is to have folks share their tips. We always want to have a student here to give a testimonial. What did you like? How did it go? What's going on with it? So we're always happy to have students here. Again, we want to be a resource of resources. So we want to pull together as many resources as we can. If you watch our previous recordings, we had Tableau come in and talk about the academic curriculum that's been developed and housed by Tableau. At the last meeting, I gave you a faculty view of what that curriculum looks like and how you can incorporate it into your classes. Again, today we're bringing in to community projects as potential teaching resources that faculty could use and integrate in their courses. And again, as I mentioned already, I love Professors for the Day. I've been doing it for many, many years, bringing folks in onto campus or virtually to be a professor for a day and teach students, what do you wish somebody taught you before you got going in all of this? And everybody can be a professor for the day. Not sure if this code is still active or not, but we had this in our Slack chat that the Tableau user groups have a special code that will get you 35% off of your registration. I don't know that it's active. I don't know that it works, but I wanted to throw it out here on the recording and make sure everybody saw it, could try it. Ping me, let me know whether it worked or not. But hey, if I can save you some money, why not give it a shot? So TC24 is coming up in May. Both Dennis and I believe Eric, are all going to be doing sessions there. We look forward to seeing you all there and would love to network and meet you if your schedule works out and you have some time. So again, every meeting we want to share resources. Today we are really happy to have two good friends that I've met along the way who have done so much for the data community through these community resources and programs. Now that I'm bopping out of my slide deck, I'm not seeing Alan here. Is that correct? Oh no, Alan.
I don't see him either.
Okay, so let me just then share my student testimonial and we'll catch Alan up at the end if we need to. I know he's kind of double booked. He's doing a lot of things, very active. And so we'll give him a few minutes to get in here. I see some good conversation going on in the chat. That's great. Let me go ahead and do the student segment. Again, every time we meet, we want to make sure that we hear from a student and hear their experiences. So, Dennis, make sure you can hear this and it is playing good for you.
All right, welcome to our student testimonial session of our Tableau user group for university teaching and learning. As I mentioned when we started this tug last year, at every meeting, I want to make sure we hear from a student, that it's not always faculty telling you how great Tableau is or how great analytics is, that we can always bring a student in every time and hear directly from a student. So for all of you students out there, talk to your faculty or just send me the link directly, because we want to get as many students as we can on the meetings as much as we can. But today I brought one of my students here and I wanted to make sure that we could get one of mine here. So we recorded this. So you're watching this.
Oh, no, don't do this to me. Got to be kidding me. Oh, me. Why does this keep happening to me? Sorry about that, folks. Let me try going to a backup plan here. Oh, please. Well, all right. Well, Eric, do you want to go? I'm not sure
Yeah,
what's.
sure. I'm ready to
Okay.
go.
I tested on Wednesday. Everything worked fine, and of course,
Yeah, no worries.
now
It's
it
I get
didn't
it. It's a
work
Friday.
today. Again, our professor for the day is Eric from Viz Back to Viz Basics, and Eric was just announced earlier this week as a Tableau visionary. Eric is a four-time Tableau ambassador, I believe, or at least a four-time Visit of the Day, or I forget all these
He
accolades.
gets 4 and 4. Yeah.
But he's a great guy, and really happy to have him here today to talk about Back to Viz Basics and the great community program that's out there that I encourage all faculty and students get involved with this if you aren't already. So let me turn it over to you, Eric, while I work through my technical difficulties.
I saw Alan is here.
Yep.
Do we want Alan to go first? I know Alan had some other commitments, so I'm okay to pivot if Alan needs to go.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We also hear some sirens in the back too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm okay to go first if
All right.
that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, that works for me. Sorry everybody for the changes, but Alan, I know you have some other places to be, so you're all
Yeah,
good.
I'm having technical difficulties just like Dr. Elder with that, but it's fine. I worked it out. So I'm gonna just sit here and they can scream at me later. All right. But yeah, I really wanted to come to this. So let me see if I can share screen. So thank you everyone for having me. I was really excited to be here, and I wanted to definitely share um, some things about the Dubois Challenge, which is happening. We're in week 5, so we're halfway through. And I just wanted, this is one of the perfect audiences I've been wanting to talk to because a lot of you are in academia or teaching, and I definitely we would love your help in just like, pushing the challenge and making sure that more and more people are aware of it. So I'm going to run through some slides, and I'm also going to point out some resources and some learnings, and happy to take some questions. So as you see, we're celebrating the Dubois visualizations. Um, I know most of you probably are familiar with the challenge, but just to give you background, the Dubois Challenge started in February 2021. It started on Twitter, and we challenged people to recreate the historical data visualizations of W.E.B. Du Bois. The goal of the challenge was to celebrate his data visualization legacy by recreating the visualizations showcased at the 1900 Paris Exposition using modern tools. I just want to introduce the team. It's not just me. Well, I think most of you know that, but the team actually is a team of 5 this year. So we have Anthony Starks, who is, he is the one who recreated all of the Du Bois visualizations, and he built his own tool to do so. Sekou and I, we were talking about doing this challenge, and I knew Anthony from before, and we all got together for the first 2 iterations to do this. As things went along, we picked up Chimdi Nuoso and Rashid Minot to be a part of the team. And we all have, in our own ways, um, we do the challenge together through these 10 weeks, but we've also separately have taught workshops, or we've spoken at different classes. I know Chimdi recently, or maybe last year, he's spoken at a 5th grade class. I teach a class during the spring semester on W.E.B. Du Bois. It's kind of tangential to what we do with the challenge. And, Rashid and Chimdi are our Tableau experts. And Sekou and I, we've also taught at Fisk University, actually, where Du Bois went to college. And so I actually wrapped up a webinar that I was doing for Fisk this week. And most of you already do this in the Data Fam or Tableau community, but you can follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and IG. And we'd love to collaborate with you all. One of the things that I love about the challenge is that it's done across social media, and social media can definitely be used as your megaphone, your microphone. And so that's definitely one of the things that we love social media for better or for worse. I always ask this question when I talk to people, but if the boy were alive today, which social media platform would he love to use? And that's something you can put in the chat. I can't see the chat right now, but let me see if I can find it. But yeah, or you can just speak it out if you want to. So celebrating Du Bois and the data. As you can see, Du Bois created 63 visualizations for the 1900 World Expo. And what we love to talk about when we're teaching about this is that the use of color and also the use of, the size, which was 28 by 22. And we also have the color palette that we've made available. And just to note that this team, Du Bois did this with a team of about 30 students, and they turned around these visualizations in about a month from when they found out that they were being asked to do this for the expo, and when he got there to Paris. And so these were hand drawn, and you'll also see throughout the presentation that a lot of these things involved math, trigonometry, to get them done. Another thing when we're talking to people about teaching this is to kind of take note of the taxonomy. 52% or 53% roughly were bar charts. About 16% of the collection was maps. And we see about line graphs made up 5%. And so the process of the gallery, Chimdi made a whole gallery in Tableau Public, and there were different tools that were used throughout the community. We've seen things done in Tableau. We're seeing a growing number of these charts being created in Tableau, and we also see the art community was pretty strong, and we also have ggplot and Power BI. And DeckShell is actually Anthony's tool that he's used, that he built to create the data visualizations, and he has tutored a few people on the tool. So, in terms of resources, one of the first things that comes to mind is that Chimdi has created a YouTube channel for some of the visualizations that he created in that gallery that I showed you. And he has a long list of things on his list, but he would definitely love to create more of these. But he has started with at least 5 of different ones. The traditional, well, not I shouldn't say traditional, but the popular spiral, and he's done a few others. So I want to run through the Boy Challenge 2023 a little bit, just because we had really taken the time to cite some learnings and observations and things we wanted to really look at. So in 2023, last year, this is the lineup that we had for the challenge. And someone in the audience who was a great participant of this challenge, I love the way that Dennis showed us the math involved. And that was also speaking to Du Bois and his groups. They wanted to show, as Black people in America at the time, that they had the academic intellect to design these and to create them. They, again, hand drawn. And so, why this may deceptively look simple, a tilted bar chart, there was definitely a lot of calculations that went into doing this. And another one that I like to cite is like Kiro Bernandez, who you can definitely follow as well. He uses the Du Bois Challenge to tell stories about the situation of being Black in Brazil. He looks at particular parallel situations that Du Bois and his team did to show the state of being Black in Brazil. And he used R for his visualizations, but he also wanted to let us know the trigonometry that went into designing some of these. And these are some equations that I don't miss at all. But I do vaguely remember them. And another thing that I like to tell people who are running workshops or um, leading these is that you can have a set of data to kind of show, like in this case, when Dubois did his Philadelphia project on sociological project, he had numbers and he wanted the general population to be able to understand this other than just looking at charts. And so on the right is what he did, while this data on the left was based in Philadelphia, the data on the right was Atlanta. They did a group of visualizations that took place that showed Atlanta's growth, and then they did a second set. The second part of the visualizations were America as a whole. Another visualization that I like to cite is one that was done by Brian Sedaka. So he used the U.S. Census um, and as well as historical data to continue what Du Bois' team had done with the free versus enslaved. And so this is an example of, again, using some modern data to add to these visualizations. So in this case, he used the African American population from the census by state, and he further identified states that had education related segregation laws. And so this is how he was able to depict this continual image on whether or not Black Americans are free based from emancipation. Another example that I do in my class, again, is tangential, meaning that we definitely talk about the visualizations, but I also look at the sense of community with the sociological study that he did in Philadelphia. And we, as a class, each student picks a New York City neighborhood to look at the historical context as well as the population, and they get to pick an issue that they may feel is impacting their neighborhoods. So these are a few neighborhoods in New York, and each student either looked at the housing crisis or when we were dealing with the rise in Asian hate that was happening, and also just looking how the pandemic impacted a neighborhood in the Bronx. So I share all this to say that there are so many inspirations that you can get from looking at Du Bois's work. And then as teachers, we can definitely use the data, and I'll run through some of the data that Anthony has built for us to recreate them. Or you can take this and take it in other directions. I've seen things done. Anthony and I, we, for example, spoke at Columbia University's digital data journalism class, just to kind of tell stories based off of the visualizations of Du Bois. So I do want to look at 2024 a little bit. So this is this year's lineup, and it's based on color, red, black, and green. And that's how these were curated. I can run us through the GitHub. See if I can share that.
I also put the GitHub link into the chat so folks can go directly to that now.
Okay, thank you. But yeah, I'll try to walk us through it as well. If I can. Try to find the share screen button. Yeah, so I wanted to run us through two parts of it. So this is the 2024. So for those who may not be familiar with the challenge, we have the link to a GitHub that allows you to look at, there's a README that it talks about the challenge and the tools that you're able to use. We welcome all tools. We're tools agnostic. And then also this year, there is a collaboration with the Data Visualization Society, which we've been seeing an increased amount of participants, so we're very happy. I also would like to mention that we have a sponsor. Like if we do get an increased number of participants year over year from last year to now, they will help fund building, being able to purchase posters for educators to have in their classrooms, which would encourage, classes or students to recreate the visualizations. They can run workshops with those. So that is our way of getting the challenge into classrooms. So again, we're hoping to have, I think we do have an increased amount from last year. So I'm very excited about that. So yeah, and again in the README, it just runs through, how to set up the challenge, what's been selected, the different visualizations for each week, because this each week we do one, and then there's a combination at the last week. It's usually like a bonus, and so that, and then so here there's the README, and then each folder under the 2024 directory has the actual data for that challenge. I know sometimes I'm not the biggest fan of GitHub. I always get lost, but but this is, where we house, and we have each challenge here in a folder. Another example that I did want to share is for educators is that we are working on looking at how to, if I can get this to work, how to look at the challenge and look at the visualizations and come up with topics for STEM. And it's not working for me right now. Oh, wrong one. Oh, yeah, topics for STEM. And so, for example, you may have recognized this one where it talks about the income and expenditure of Black American families in Atlanta. And so this is one where we're looking to see if we can work with someone who's in economics, just to kind of build out those STEM themes. Same thing with the value of land owned, as well as population. And of course, I know we have a map expert on the call, but definitely mapping is also another good STEM related activity. So that's one of the other things that we're working on as a team, but also just wanted to share with educators that you can position some of these visualizations to be a STEM topic or a topic where you may want to talk about business or economics. And just going back to my slides here. I'm almost wrapping up. So I always like to end off with a statement by Dubois, and this one is either America will destroy ignorance or ignorance will destroy the United States. It's definitely a powerful statement as you begin to reflect on it, and definitely the use of wording. But Dubois, just to wrap as we wrap up, he was very positive. He was very hopeful that his academic strength and intellect and showing these visualizations was going to make a change in America at the time that he was in. It did not make the change that he expected at the time, and we can only hope that over time, things can improve more and more. So I just wanted to end off by just giving you our contact information. Again, we're happy to collaborate with other teachers, professors, in getting the challenge or iterations or versions of it in classrooms, even outside of what we do via social media. So I can now open things up to questions anyone may have.
Yeah, thanks so much, Alan. I really appreciate that. Like I say, my students got involved in 2021, the first year that they were rolling it out. And I was teaching in Georgia, so my students loved it. Hey, these are Atlanta University students back in 1900, and so they really got into it. You don't know what's going to get your students excited, So we try and give them all kinds of different topics, all kinds of different projects to work on, and hope something excites them. And this challenge here has excited a lot of my students. They really enjoyed, seeing that somebody back in 1900s made these really cool data visualizations. Now with state of the art stuff, can you recreate them? And they're struggling and they're like, wow, this is really impressive. It talks about history. Some people don't know this history and they should, so there's so much that this challenge brings to the table. And I also wanted to reiterate that it's ongoing right now. So they're in week 5, I believe, right now, about halfway through the challenge for this year. Still time to get involved. There's still 5 more plates to go this year, 5 more weeks to get involved. But they also have the background ones as well. So if you want to go back to 2023 or 2022, they're also out there at that GitHub link that I dropped into the chat for everybody.
Okay. Yeah, and like I said, you can always do either one of them. I mean, I know we kind of curate and we kind of walk you through like which prompt you which ones to do, but you can always feel free to recreate anyone and share because we will highlight it.
Yeah, and it's definitely fun to see when they recreate it, try and get it exact. But it's also great. I think someone up in Canada did stuff with Canadian Africans and took the data there to show how it compared to what the data was here for African Americans in Georgia in the 1900s. So it's really fun, as Alan mentioned, to see the students just spin off and do some, thought-provoking work, and that's what educators we should be striving to do. So I really love this program, and I'm really happy to get Alan here to discuss it with you all today. And I hope every educator considers including this in their curriculum.
I think the one thing I would add is I think it's nice, and from a Tableau perspective, it's great to have like different levels of the charts, right? Like there's easy ones like a bar graph, but then there are ones that are really going to challenge your Tableau skills, and I'm thinking about the spiros and things like that are really going to kind of press. But the range of kind of levels that the charts present for students at varying levels of Tableau skills, I think is really nice too.
Yeah, definitely agree. It can be as challenging as the students need it to be, so you can meet them at their level, which is always a great thing as an educator.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Alan. I really appreciate you. I know you're double booked doing a lot of things this morning, so we appreciate you coming and joining us.
This was important to me. I always would like talking with you all, and I see a lot of faces who I did talk to, and someone I saw Eric like maybe a month ago. So, no, I definitely wanted to come in. So, thank you.
Yep.
And if anyone has any questions, definitely drop me a note.
Yeah, definitely. You can find Alan on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on I think you said Instagram. They're all over the place. Just search for Dubois Challenge, and you'll find lots of examples and lots of places to get started and find Alan and AJ and Chimney and the whole team out there. They do a really great job.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right.
All right, so let's pivot back to Eric now. Thank you, Eric, for being. We're going to get you on here now, Eric.
No worries.
Sorry, Eric. Sorry.
Oh, you're good, Alan.
No
I won't
problem.
hold it against you.
I messed up last meeting, Alan. So this has been an ongoing me stumbling, bumbling, but trying to get you folks on here to get in front of all these educators, tools that they can use in the class. Take it away, Eric.
Cool. All right. Well, here we'll get into another Tableau community project. This one is called Back to Viz Basics. We actually recently collaborated with Alan in the Dubois Challenge. So, we try to do a lot of those collaborations throughout the community projects just to kind of spread awareness about, the other projects that exist out there and just kind of get a different flavor and twist on our normal one. So, but it's really great to be here today. My name is Eric Balash. I'm a senior manager of business intelligence at Lovelytics. I do have a pretty nasty cold this week, so I'm going to do my best to try to get through this. But what we'll go over today is just how this project got started, what is it, how can we participate, and then just some fun stats and accomplishments that we've done over the past 3 years. So, like I said, my name's Eric Balash. Recently became a Tableau visionary, which I'm very excited about. I've been to 4 Tableau conferences. Going to make it 7 this year in San Diego, so hope to see some of you on the call there today. I got married back in October. That's my wife, Olivia, and our standard poodle, Loki, in the picture. Everyone always thinks he's a golden doodle, but no, he is a standard poodle. So thanks, Russ. I see your comment there. My project co-leads, Lisa Davis. She's a lead BI analyst at Discover. And then Shreya Arya. She's a Tableau and Alteryx consultant at the Information Lab. So Lisa joined me about halfway through the first year of running this project. And then Shreya joined this year as we kicked off our third year. So definitely give them a follow as well and check out their Tableau public profiles and Twitters. All right, so how did this project get started? So once upon a time, there was a Tableau student ambassador by the name of Maria Brock. She interned at Lovelytics. She and I worked together at Booz Allen together. But as she was going about her learning of Tableau, I think she tells a story of how she had about 60 tabs open on her browser of YouTube tutorials, blog posts, a bunch of different things, right? I'm sure many of us have been in that situation before. And she was like, okay, this is too much. Like, I want to create a one-stop shop for, everybody starting out with Tableau. How can they learn it? Here's everything you need to know about just some tutorials about the tool itself, the different versions of the tool that exist, the community, who are the visionaries and ambassadors, things like that, right? All the little things that we want to know about the whole Tableau space. So she created a website called the Tableau Student Guide. Kind of fast forward a little bit. Um, she moved on to kind of some different roles and, just didn't want to deal with the maintenance of the website anymore. So she asked if I would take it over. And I said yes. So I inherited this great website from Maria. A lot of things that are on this website. We do student interviews, resources. So if you have any students, that would be great. Please send them along to me. I'd love to get like an interview with them on there just to kind of share their experience with Tableau. But we have some resources on there in terms of data sources, podcast, connecting with the community. So who are the ambassadors? Who are the visionaries? What is Tableau Public? How to join? Building basic views. So very basic tutorials around building a bar chart, line chart. What is the data pane? Things like that. And then just how to get started with Tableau. So a lot of really great information on here that Maria has put together. And then since I inherited the project, I wanted to add my own twist to it. So that's where I came up with the idea for Back to Viz Basics. So kind of stems off, folks getting started with Tableau, but a community project that is geared to those that are newer to the tool. So there are other community projects out there, right? I'm sure many of us have heard of Makeover Monday, Workout Wednesday. We just heard from Alan about the Dubois Challenge. There's Sports Vid Sunday, Project Health Viz. So there's a lot of great projects out there. But a lot of these sometimes require you to have a little bit more maybe advanced skills in Tableau with building out a full dashboard or certain things like that. But I wanted to have a twist on it where we just focus on one simple topic at a time. Let's just focus on building a bar chart and how can we really play with Tableau to edit that bar chart and fill it out. So, right, we play with color or we play with size or we add labels, right? It really allows us to get into the weeds with building out that specific chart type. And we get to learn about the different features that Tableau has to offer a little bit more. So then came Back to Viz Basics. So the what, right? I never had any formal training on Tableau. I was introduced to it as a student, and I thought it was super cool. So I wanted to learn everything I could about it. But it was kind of hard to find, or you have so many different tutorials out there and blog posts and initiatives by the community that there's not really something specific for folks that are just starting out, right? Tableau has some of their e-learning and training, which is great. But right, it's fun to join the community and participate in a project that is a little bit more tailored for those just starting out. So that's why I started Back to Viz Basics. Here's an example of one of our charts here on the right side from our very first challenge. The who, right? This is meant for newer users. So did you just download Tableau? Are you new to the community? Do you need help building visualizations or just totally lost with the whole drag and drop functionality and you just need some help on where to start? This is for you. Even if you're an experienced user, if you've been using Tableau 5 to 8 years, if you're a visionary or ambassador, right? This is a chance for you to go back to your foundation data visualization skills and perfect on those. Play with something in Tableau that you haven't before. So it's not just meant for new users. This is still a project that is meant for everybody. The why, right? It can be tricky to learn. I think Tableau is still very user friendly with its drag and drop functionality, but the minute that you start dragging a few other things out there, all of a sudden you get this crazy data art, and you're like, man, I don't know, what did I do wrong? Right. So this is kind of a chance to play around with things and focus on one specific thing at a time. So right? Here's an example where we built scatter plot. We were focusing on that for the week, looking at NCAA coaching records, right? So within this chart, right, you can build a simple scatter plot, but you could take it to the next level, right? You can think about how you can enforce size and color from the marks card onto your visualization. So, right, starting to play around and edit the visualization to kind of get it to that next level. So that's kind of what the purpose of this project is. Focus on building the chart type or whatever the type of, maybe it's not a chart type, it could be something like focusing on colors, but then it allows you to play around with it a little bit more to kind of take it to that next level. So focus on things like editing formatting, playing with grid lines and borders and tick marks, understanding data and visualizing trends, and then just keeping things clean and simple. Sometimes we just really overcomplicate our visualization, so this project is meant to kind of take away all the extra fluff and let's just focus on one thing at a time. The how. So, how can you participate? You can follow us on Twitter or LinkedIn. I know social media is a great platform to kind of share out things like that, but if you're not into that, no worries at all. You can just go to the Tableau Student Guide website and you can bookmark that. And every week I'll go over our schedule and or every other week we post a new prompt, and I'll go over the schedule in just a second here. From there, you'll want to navigate to data.world. That is where we post all of our data sets. So the prompt will be posted there, the data set will be posted there, and that's where you have to download the data from for that week. So you can follow Back to Viz Basics on data.world. From there, you'll download the data. You'll connect it to your tool of choice. Obviously, here for Tableau, prefer Tableau. But if you're playing around with something else, you're more than welcome to use that tool if you'd like. So then from there, visualize the prompt. Make sure you read the prompt. We put a lot of really helpful information in there around the data, where it came from, why it's relevant, the data types or the data fields that we have in there, and then any sources that you might want to cite. When you're done with that, post it. Share it on LinkedIn, post it to Tableau Public, share it on Twitter, share it wherever you'd like. And make sure you tag one of us in it. So that way we can just, give your visualization a shout out. We can provide feedback if you're interested in it. And then we do have a tracker for submissions as well. So the tracker itself is just a great resource. I love it to look at, 50 different ways to build bar charts, right? When we do that challenge, everybody that submits, I get to see a new flavor of a bar chart. So it's really become a nice tool to look at a lot of different ways to kind of visualize the same thing. So definitely, encourage you to submit your visualization in that tracker for that week, and that can be found on my Tableau Public page. If you would like feedback, make sure when you post your visualization, you say something like, "Hey, I'm open to feedback." Elisa and Shreya go through everybody's all the tweets, and they look at it and they give feedback if you ask for it. So if you're new or one of your students is new and they're interested in looking to kind of improve their visualization, make sure they ask for feedback, and we'll be happy to provide that. We do ask that you try to take that feedback and then incorporate into your visualization and share out an update as well. All right, the when. So how does all of this work? So every other Monday. So if we're looking at a schedule here in week A, the prompt is posted. You have 2 weeks to visualize that prompt. That's just the timeline that we suggest sticking to. But if you want to go back in history and recreate all of them, you could stick to your own timeline, whatever works for you. But typically 2 weeks is what we're looking for. On the Wednesday of that prompt that was just posted, Shreya will share out some tips around that topic. The following Wednesday, in the second week after the prompt was posted, I start to gather submissions and review a few of them in a quick little YouTube video. I try to keep those really quick. And then the cycle repeats as we get to the Monday of the third week. So we operate bi-weekly, or I guess, I don't know, some people say bi-weekly or bi-monthly. I guess it could be the same thing. But that's typically our schedule there. We try to keep everything on time. Sometimes I'm a little late with the videos just because video editing can just be a headache sometimes, and sometimes it just drives me nuts. But overall, we try to stick to that schedule there. All right, so what have we done so far? This is just a flavor of some of the challenges that we've had on here. So design a mobile view, change over time, build an area chart, use an action, how to deal with outliers. So try to, really spread things out. We don't just focus on specific chart types. Sometimes we like to incorporate more of like a design, tip or trick. Sometimes we'll do things like design a wireframe. So here's a list of requirements that you get from a stakeholder or a client. Take all these requirements and go build a mock-up in Balsamic or Figma or whatever tool you'd like to build a wireframe. And then, maybe we'll have data to take that wireframe and build a dashboard off of it. So we don't just focus on building out simple chart types. We like to kind of hit everything that we can within Tableau. So if you have an idea or if there's something that you struggle on, feel free to share that with us. We'd love to incorporate any ideas that the community has into our prompts. Just some numbers. So we've done to date 49 challenges over the past 3 years. So we're currently in our third year. We've had around 2,200 submissions, 713 unique participants, and we've actually had 21 viz of the days. So pretty good feeder for those looking to get their visualization noticed as a viz of the day. Right. Again, you could still be brand new to Tableau and get a viz of the day. There's no problem with that. It doesn't need to be the world's craziest visualization to get viz of the day. Definitely, it's a good place to start enhancing out your skills. And just shout out to Dennis. Clean data. So I think that is my nightmare, is trying to find a good data set sometimes. But we really do try to keep it very simple and clean for everybody, because we know that this is a project that is meant for those that are newer to Tableau, right? We don't throw 50 fields at you with like 2 million rows. We try to keep it very simple. Here's just some examples of viz of the day. So you can kind of see we have, a variety of skill levels here. Some are a little bit more advanced. Some, are definitely newer to Tableau, which I really like to see. So it's folks kind of honing in on those foundational skills and really practicing with all the different features that Tableau has to offer. I don't think I have all 21 images here, but if you go to the tracker, you can search specifically for the vizzes of the day. These are some more of our recent ones here. Some collaborations. These are ones that we've done in the past. We've worked with some other Tableau community projects: Real World Fake Data, Game Night Viz, Data FamCon, Public Policy Viz. Always more collaborations coming. We always try to work with the other community projects just so we can highlight each other's, and it's a nice crossover to work with different data. These are just some examples of different ones that we've done. So these come from two folks that have a little bit more experience in Tableau and have, I guess they're also Tableau visionaries and ambassadors as well. So just wanted to kind of share and highlight some things that folks have created. Some of these might look a little bit more advanced, but I promise you we get a whole mix of folks from all different skill levels participating. I do appreciate people that, do take the time to really focus on the design of their dashboards. That's one of the most important things. These are some examples from last year. All right, so our future outlook. So in the works, just working with some other community projects for collaborations on the left, and what's new this year. So tips and tricks and weekly roundups. So when Shreya joined the project, she has put together weekly tips that we share out with each prompt. So here's an example that we did with building better line charts. So one of her tips was avoid visualizing too many lines at once on a single chart. This can reduce clarity. So we try to include a bunch of these tips, usually like 2 to 5 with every prompt that we post, just to give some folks some added context as they're working on their visualization for that week. And then the other thing that we added this year is more consistent video reviews on YouTube. So I typically pick 2 to 3 visualizations to share, just review them quickly, give very minor feedback, but just a chance to kind of highlight them and put out a video for the community to see. So if you're interested in seeing those, make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. All right, that's all I have for today. So would love for everybody to join. Like I said, this is a great project for those just getting started out with Tableau. If you have, 5 to 8 years or more of experience, also a great project for you to join to go back and really hone in on those foundational skills. So here's just a quote that I love. Simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple, but it's worth it in the end, because once you get there, you can move mountains. So really our project is about just keeping things simple to the point and focusing on one little thing about Tableau at a time. So if you have any questions about the project, feel free to reach out to me, connect with me on Twitter, LinkedIn, shoot me an email. Always happy to answer questions or incorporate any topics that you'd like to see. If you'd like me to help bring this to your university or share this with any students, happy to do that and would love to chat. But thanks, Doc, for having me today, and I really appreciate the invite. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks so much, Eric. Really appreciate it. Glad to get you here. I'm going to follow up with Eric. I want to do a session with him with my new students in class. Give that a try. And if I'm able to get that scheduled and get that recorded, I'll share that out with the with this tug as well, because I know that these folks that come in as a professor for the day, they really enjoy interacting with the students. So I want to make sure that we give everybody the opportunity to do that. And I'm sure Eric and his team is more than happy to meet with any of you who would like to do follow-ups and incorporate this into your classes. It's a really great community project. And if nothing else, point them to that student guide. That's week 1 in my class. Here you go. Here's a bunch of answers to your questions that you don't have to ask me.
Yep. Yeah, no, Maria did a really great job with that. So I honestly have not even added much content to what she has there other than the back to Viz basic stuff and some other student interviews. Everything that she has there is still really relevant and good. So yeah, I think, having that is just an incredible resource to get started with.
Yep. Definitely good stuff there. All right. Well, thanks so much, Eric. We'll follow up with you definitely.
Awesome.
For sure.
All right.
And look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. So I'm going to get back to the slide deck here. Just if nothing else, to remind folks, I want to be cognizant of your time. We're at the top of the hour. And so any ideas that you have for a suggested resource, pop them into the chat. Any suggestions that you have for anybody who might want to work with us in leadership, pop those into the chat. Any ideas for a professor for the day? Somebody can come in and share a resource that they have. Would love to hear any ideas that you all might have. And I guess we'll wait till next time, Dennis, to get some Tableau tips. We're going to start with you and Tableau tips next time, Dennis. I'm staying in the background. I've got too many technical issues. Tentatively, we've got scheduled our next meeting on April 19th in the same time slot. Although if we decide that we want to move it to a different time, see if we can get a bigger audience, we might do that, or we might just stay with this, because I know most of our members just want to catch the recording and catch up on what they missed and what these resources are and who to talk to get involved in these various things. So we might just keep it in this time slot one more time, get another recording out there. So again, in the chat, give us your name, your email, any ideas, suggestions, feedback that you have, or contact me or Dennis or Leanne directly. And please reach out to both Alan or Eric and get involved in these programs that we presented to you today. I've found in my teaching, they've really livened up the classroom to bring in these community projects. The students love them. Again, I think sometimes faculty are, this might be too advanced. Don't underestimate your students. Give them a chance, give them a start, give them the right tools, and they can really, really roll with it. So we're at the top of the hour. So Dennis, do you have anything in closing you would like to share, something I may have missed or anything at all? I know most of the folks probably have to get somewhere.
Yeah, not really. Yeah, but thank you, everybody.
Yeah, we really, really appreciate everybody being here. I will, I think through Bevy, I can upload a video and make that available to folks. So I will upload my student testimonial from Dalton. It's really an excellent video. He's a supply chain management student who just jumped into Tableau, no experience, and he will be one of Adam Miko's Tableau next year. If I get him submitted properly. And so again, if you have any students that you would like to showcase in a future event, let us know. We'd love to interview them and get their testimonial at future events as well. So thanks everybody for coming and attending, and please reach out to us with any feedback, ideas, whatnot. And if not, have a great weekend, and we will catch you at the next meeting. I will stop the recording, but if anybody wants to hang around and ask questions off camera, not being recorded,